It is, I think, a very strong asset. The ability to pick and put good people in place at state agencies, whether it's some of our very small number of full-time boards or whether in the large part the volunteer boards that come in on a periodic basis, to have good people there, bright people, committed people who share the governor's vision, you can accomplish a great deal. There has to be effective management of that process, and I think that's one of the strengths of some governors over others, is the ability to have your staff in the governor's office in regular communication with your appointees, helping to give them direction, helping to make those decisions. Oftentimes it's spoken that governors appoint these people, and then once they're confirmed particularly, they're sort of on their own, they're free agents. That is not my experience. Different governors have different levels of involvement. And having worked as an appointee of one governor, now the president, and an appointee of, or as on the staff of a second governor, different ways that was done. Governor Bush did leave his appointees, I think, not on their own, but he sort of gave them their head and let them kind of go in the directions that they thought would be best. I think Governor Perry and other governors have been probably a little bit more involved in the agency process, and I think that they need to be. Governor Bush was incredibly effective because he brought a lot of those different skills to bear on the process, and he guided, set the direction for his appointees, but his staff was not as engaged maybe in the day-to-day process as they could have been. Governor Perry's, I think, staff, and he will be a bit more involved over time. I think some of his predecessors have been also. So again, it can work, but you choose the right people, you give them at least some element of direction, and you know also when to pull back, when not to try to micromanage the agencies because you're not there, and that board and their executive director and their staff are the ones that do know the ins and outs. So it's kind of finding that balance of, like a parent, when to correct, when to chastise perhaps, and when to let them go on their own.